And good morning. It is very bright. It is early in the morning, and for the first time, pretty cold. I'm happy to say it is less than 50 degrees right now, and I couldn't be happier. 50 degrees Fahrenheit, obviously, for my Brit Bongs who are listening. So I am deep into the wealthy people neighborhood at one of their cul-de-sacs. So not a lot going on here, but we are going to schlep back through the wealthy people neighborhood while I talk about a thing. The thing I want to talk about today is me and you listen to this right now, and me, how we should organize our lives mentally and behaviorally in simple ways to make the future better. I talk about this kind of stuff a lot on my channel, but I haven't given a specific little guide tutorial in a while, so we're going to do that this morning. I was thinking yesterday about what all I've done this year to make mine, my husband, my mother's life better, what I've done for myself to make myself healthier, and it made me think that maybe some of you out there need to be told this. You cannot change the socioeconomic structure of the country you live in. You cannot change the evil oligarchs or tyrants or anti-white demons or whatever it is you call them. You can't get them out of power. But what you can do is you can control your life, your actions, what you build locally in your own life, in your own church, etc. So, what am I talking about? Every single day of your life, every single day, you need to do one thing from the following list. Self-improvement, health, spiritual, mental, right? Study something, read something that will enrich your mind and make you mentally, spiritually stronger and better than you were. If you are devoutly religious, reading prayer, catechisms, things that I'm not familiar with in pagan circles, I don't know. But something like that is also on this list. Personal improvement also means physicality. One of the things that you can do every day to fill this list is physical exercise. And it doesn't just have to be taking a walk. It can be anything. It can be going to the gym. It can be practicing gymnastics. It can be practicing firearms or martial arts. Anything that focuses and improves your reflexes, physical body, your physical health, etc., that's on the list too. And finally on the list, every day, do something, or on the everyday list, I should say, is also do something enriching for you and at least one other loved one. Whether that's creating something with your wife, doing something truly enriching and fun with one of your children, or perhaps it's going out and finding someone. If you don't have anyone, and I don't just mean a romantic partner, like a husband or a wife, a lot of people are alone these days. They don't have friends. They don't have a community. So every day, if you don't have those things, do something working towards having at least one friend, one ally, one family member that you can build something healthy and positive with. And if that continues to fail over time, you should probably change tactics or change the area you live in, because you probably live in a cancerous, hollow area, which is unfortunately the case for many of us these days. So all of those things I went over the last 5 minutes, well, 3 minutes technically, do one of those at least every day. That's what I've been doing for 2 years now, and it helps me a lot. Every single day I say, what am I going to do? Today, am I going to work on improving myself? Am I going to work on improving my relationship with my husband or my mother or our friends? Am I going to work on preparing for the future? Am I going to train? Am I going to target shoot? Am I going to do martial arts? Am I going to do shadow boxing? What am I going to do today that is a daily affair that I can do to improve myself or improve my life or possibilities for me and my loved ones? Every single day, do at least one of all that shit that I mentioned. Every single day, you need to wake up and do at least one of those things. One, just at least one of them. And if you do that every day, your life does improve and you start making healthier connections with people around you. Now, I know that some of you who are young, you don't have family and friends and wives and children and stuff. I know that. I know you don't. So that's what you should work on. And you do that by building up yourself, especially young men. It's going to be hard for you, young white men. It's going to be hard for you. But you have to be strong. You have to have your head in the game. You have to have a good heart, a good mind, a good body, good reflexes. You have to be sharp. You have to be successful. You have to make your own business, find a trade, find a way that you can make and continue to make resources. Start a business, something like that. That gets me to my next part of goals, which is weekly and monthly goals. These are sort of the same thing, but bigger. They involve having goals that you have already set and taking steps towards them. We were just talking about what young white men are going to face in the future. It's going to be rough. You need to have your own reliability. You need to be fit. You need to have a decent diet. You need to understand what these things are. You probably didn't get taught a bunch of the useful stuff I did growing up. You should look into that. Talk to people who are also dissidents who can teach you how to start a business, how to have a healthy diet and exercise schedule. I can't preach to you all this stuff. I could give you advice if you ask me privately, but you're going to have to do it. You make your contacts, you find out what it is you have to do to create a path for yourself, create a way for yourself to exist. Now, this is advice for everybody, not just young men, but everyone needs to do this, even if you're a 50-year-old mother or grandmother. Every week or month, whatever it is you're happy with, set yourself a goal. Such as, well, okay, I saw the reflection to go free in the phone. Let's say you're doing the go free method. And you say, okay, this month, I'm going to talk to 10 strangers about the go free method. That is an advocacy goal, right? Do that for yourself, for your personal life, for your loved ones, for your career. Do that kind of thing. You could say, okay, well, I'm a 28-year-old guy and I have these resources available to me. I would like to start a machine shop. I have some experience working these industrial tools. I know about metalworking. I think that in the rural community I live in, I could have some kind of small machine shop that fixes tools or cuts metal to order, that kind of thing. Well, every week or month, whatever your schedule is for you, set down a goal that you can meet in the allotted time and work towards achieving that. And do that every week or every month. I do it weekly for the things that I want to build and create and do with my friends and family here. And it's made my life a lot better. And I think it'll make your life better too. Because we live in this empire of lies that we live in, where we have social media every day, we have the negativity from around the world, a lot of it made up, bombarding us every day. That kind of constant mind war, it gives you dissonance. Not a dissident like a political dissident, dissonance. It creates a dissonance inside you where there's all this ugly negativity you can't do anything about, so it kind of makes you paralyzed. It makes you weak. It makes you just sort of detached and truly messed up. That's why I tell people to just, don't doom scroll. I want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to healthy content creators that talk about important things and give you important ideas and tools to build with, like Conscious Caracal, Afroforum, the people that are doing the stuff in Arania in South Africa. That's why I have guys like that on my channel to talk to you, because it's not just doom documenting and talking about, oh, look how screwed everything is. No, these are people who are organizing and building and doing stuff to make their lives, their families' lives, and their people's lives better. And that's what we all need to be doing. We're plebs. We're never going to be king. We're never going to be able to wield armies and change the system. We got to fight the system, man. That's not happening. The system that is, we can fight it by building our own way, building our own healthy families and communities. That's the only thing that I see as being truly viable to do with your time, energy, resources, etc. I don't think mass protests, I don't think shouting at immigrants, I don't think that trying to vote your way out of this hell, that's not really going to work, is it? We've seen that for decades. It doesn't work, does it? We're still where we are. So this is why I say the only way out of this darkness, the only way through this dark winter that's coming is to build. We have to build like our ancestors did. We have to create communities, networks. We have to create our own culture, because culture is how a people stays alive. Songs, music, oral traditions, religious expressions, poetry, these things matter. So that's why I like the White Art Collective. I respect people like my friend Christopher Everard that make quality fiction just for the spirit of it. That's really important too. So for those of you who are not artistically inclined, what can you do? Well, that's why I'm telling you these things today. You can build a healthier, stronger you and family every single day. But basically you need to keep improving yourself physically, mentally, spiritually for the struggles ahead. Do that every day, one of those things every day. And then set yourself weekly and monthly goals for vocation, recreation. You could say, well, I've always wanted to go hiking at so-and-so mountain. Well, this month, do the legwork to see what that's going to take. And if it's out of your means, if it's too far, you don't have the time, find an alternative. Maybe there's a mountain or an interesting hiking path on a mesa or something near you. And you can go do that instead, and you can prove to yourself that, hey, I can make plans. I can go do this. I can climb this mountain. I can walk this 10-mile path or whatever. That kind of thing is great too. It gives you personal fulfillment. It gives you strength and confidence. That's a good thing too. Now, when it comes to the things that you build communally, well, we're each going to be different in that regard. And there's some guys shouting and playing with dogs, maybe a couple hundred yards that way. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not. So I'm going to turn around and go this way. Anyway, when it comes to the things that you build communally, better families, better community groups, homeschool, churches, recreational things like gun clubs or making a t-ball league for the local kids to play t-ball or something, you need to be involved in that stuff too. I try to be, but I'm old now. And my cousins and my family and stuff, we all got our own ways. We got our own little, I guess, cliques, you could say. So that's harder for me here. I'm trying, but out here, people like to keep to themselves. Now, that's going to be a barrier that a lot of us that live in rural white country are going to have. So my advice there is to 100% avoid doom and gloom talk. When you want to do stuff with people, keep it positive and fun and lighthearted. Because everybody knows how fucked it is, even if they don't say so. People know how screwed up everything is. They know. You don't got to tell them. What they do want to do is have a good time, have fun, and that's what you can do. That's how you can fix things. That's how you can build things. Maybe in your community there's some potholes that need fixing, and you talk to some folk and you figure out how to get some asphalt or how to get whatever materials you need to fix a bridge or to fix a road or to go repair some old lady's fence that needs fixing so her chickens don't get out. That's the kind of thing that you need to do. Me and Ernst Van Zyl, I mentioned earlier, we talked about that on my channel. Community groups start with 2 people, you and 1 friend. That's how they all start. Doing stuff together that's positive and fun. Helping people fix stuff on their property. Fixing public works stuff. Helping people helping people put up a barn. That kind of thing. Network with people that you know to try to find people where you live to do positive, constructive things. Go out into the community. If you are passionate about homeschooling and there isn't a good homeschool group where you live, consider starting one. Talk to the thousands of parents that do that. Talk to professionals like Brant Danger that has School of the West. Talk to them. Let's say you are passionate about Christianity or a pagan religion like Asatru. You're passionate about that, but you don't have anybody that's cool or not cancer that lives around you. Well, either start one or move and start one. Start your own church. Start your own fellowship group. Start your own, I don't know what to call the pagan circles. Start your own, circle or whatever they call them. Start that. Do that. Build that. These are the things that you need to take steps towards making happen in your life around you, because we need these things and nobody's going to build them for us. Nobody. As this machine, as this anti-white colossus destroys what's left of our civilization, it will fizzle out and fall apart. We need to be in a good position when that's over, to be able to have a civilization worth living in. Because when this evil, hateful, spiteful war machine is done thrashing its fists, there are going to be Chinese powers, Russian powers, Islamic powers that are going to want to take control of things and seize territory. And a lot of them, they're not going to be very kind to old Whitey, who was the race, quote unquote, responsible for all of that war machine for the last couple hundred years, are they? They're not going to be too fond of us. We are going to have a communal strength. And I don't like the word collectivism, That makes me think of like ants in an ant colony or mindless communists. So I avoid the word collectivism. What we need is unity. Healthy cultural unity around being a Western person, a Westman, if you will. We need that. And that's not going to magically fall in our laps. We have to build it from the ground up because it has been stripped from us for generations, especially post-1945. But it started in the 1800s in America. And we have to build that back. We have to. Or we don't have a future worth living. And I'm not just talking about as an American. I mean, all white people. I'm not a big fan of the United States anymore. I kind of want it to go to hell. I want it to dissolve. I don't like it anymore. I think that the conceits laid out by the Founding Fathers were good ones, and I respect them as men and thinkers. But the United States we have now is nothing at all like that. It's a big, evil, nasty colossus, and I want it all gone. So if it all dies in the fire of the future collapse or whatever, or the churning gears of whatever the technocracy does, if the United States, excuse me, falls apart and gets dissolved, well, good riddance, because it became something evil. It became something spiteful and hateful, and it started off something much, much different than that. And so, my point is, the things that we know and love, that we've been raised to care about, they're just fragments. They're just echoes. They're just pieces of a dream that we can't have. We have to build our own future. And I know that sounds dark and that sounds scary, but that's fucking life right now. The boomers were born into a bubble of propaganda and material wealth unprecedented in the history of man. Of course they raised us to be warped and strange, and that's why so many of them act like petulant, spoiled children, and they refuse to take responsibility and do anything hard because they never had to. They were born into a paradise of propaganda and capitalism. But we don't have that. That's all dead and dying. Some of it's still alive, but it's dying. So build, create, do, improve. The future is in our hands. We have to build it to survive the storm. And we will survive the storm. As long as we don't give up, as long as thousands or millions of us keep all of this stuff in mind and focus on creating healthy, strong communities, building positive culture, making great music that is focused on our people's unity as Western people, as part of a race, an ethnicity. We have to focus and build on that because other groups around the world do, and they are group motivated, collective motivated. They have unity against us. And if we don't have unity for ourselves, it's going to be very, very bad for our children and grandchildren as these things turn. So this is why I tell you the things I do on my channel. I know this video is going on a long time, but I want you to understand. You need to think smaller. The big picture is scary and unmanageable. The little picture isn't. It can still be scary, but it's manageable. You can create a better you. You can create friends. You can create loved ones. You have to work at it. And when you have at least one friend, at least one loved one, you have someone who matters that you can build something with. And you should be doing that. So I hope that these words have inspired you to build a better you, to build a better future for your community, and that stuff matters for building a better future for all of us. Each and every one of us need to do that. So that's where I'm going to leave it off today. The sun is very, very bright, and I have about a mile walk in the bright sun to get back. So I'm going to wrap this up. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. God bless.